The end of the Gaza war is not the end of military rule over Palestinians. It's not the end of Palestinian struggles. It's certainly not the end of Gaza's suffering. I voted 3 times for a Palestinian state as an Israeli, and 3 times it ended in rivers of blood. Not because ordinary Palestinians don't want independence, they do. We have polls on this. And it doesn't happen when the left is in charge in Israel, and it doesn't happen when the left marches in their millions, and it doesn't happen when the people who want it to happen on both sides desperately do everything they can to make it happen. And one of the reasons it doesn't happen is that there are ideologies, ideas, deep impulses in the cultures of the two peoples that don't want it. I have been a massive critic of the Israeli side again and again and again. But I'm talking about Hamas. What I want you to notice about Hamas is not this war. There's no question that thousands of children have died. This was a terrible war. And if you decide that the Israelis are just intentionally and wantonly cruel, look, it's a critique of a war. But I have to tell you that my life experience of 30 years is that Hamas bombed every peace process, everyone I marched for. And it bombed it hundreds of times. It attacked and it shot and it murdered. And the Israeli political left can't get elected anymore. Even when a third of right-wingers want this government gone, Israelis genuinely don't know how to move forward. If the people who decide what happens in Palestine to Palestinians, how Palestinians engage Israelis, is Hamas. I know you don't know it. You haven't seen it. It doesn't make your press, even though it happened again and again and again. Over the last 2 years, Hamas has told Israelis dozens of times that I personally have seen in interviews and places like CNN that it's going to do October 7 again, and it's going to fight war forever until the death of or expulsion of every last Israeli Jew. Hamas's charter talks about the Jews as being the cause of all the evils in the world. Hamas has said, its leadership talks about how all the great sacrifices of the Gazans in the last 2 years were worth it for the great cause of the destruction of Israel. And if the deaths had been tenfold, they would still have been worth it. Because Hamas is not fighting a war for the independence of Palestine. It is fighting a war for the liberation of Islamic land and the restoration of a vision of Islam that they have that has nothing to do, or doesn't have to have anything to do, with Islam itself. Not all the versions, but Hamas's version says that they have to rise up, restore Islam to a conquering militant ethos that takes over the world. Hamas are as bad as Israelis say. And the occupation is as bad as Palestinians say. And now what? And if you can only see half of that, then it doesn't really matter what your activism does. As long as the vast majority of the Israeli left, of Israelis who would vote for a Palestinian state in a minute if given the chance, as long as the vast majority of them believe that leaving the West Bank or removing a military presence in Gaza means that Hamas will come for their children again and for all time, because it is not motivated by the values and ideas and dreams that you are motivated by. As long as the vast majority, not of Israelis, but of the Israeli left, believes that that is not an option, nothing you do matters. No march, no sanction, no boycott, no rage, no curse.